Good morning and welcome to this edition of Ferrum College Basketball Fast Break Show. I'm the host, Benton. Joined beside me is Coach Bryan Harvey. Coach, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me today.
All right, so since the last time we talked, last time you were on the show, actually, your new assistant coach was here. She was introduced, Elyse, and I apologize, Elyse, I'm going to pronounce her last name wrong. Kiploks?
Kiploks.
Okay.
Yes.
Elyse Kiploks. So what does she bring to your staff?
She's really, really good. We're excited. I've had good assistants. I've had really good assistants since I've been here. Adam Crawford, who's the golf coach at Guilford College, was, my assistant for a long time and did a great job for me. Kelsey Long came in and really, they've all been different, but have all brought great things to the program, and I think Elyse kind of fits right in that category. She comes in, she has extensive playing experience. She's played at the Division I level and has played professionally in Europe, and so I think she brings the playing experience, but also thinks, she's young. She's young, and the girls relate well to her, and she's an unbelievable communicator. Since she's been here, she's had individual meetings with all of our players, just kind of talking about the things that they like about the program, the things that they think we can do better in the program, and we're just kind of assessing, what we're doing well and what we need to do to continue to move in the right direction. And I think she's been really, really good with that to this point.
I'm glad she was able to finally get out here from Australia. I know you guys had a few travel troubles with her, but glad she's with you now. This past week, December 6th, Kayla Caveness was named ODAC Player of the Week. She played phenomenal in those two games. She averaged 26 points, 4 rebounds. She was shooting 56% from the field. Really helped your team to a win there against Virginia Wesleyan. How's her play there been?
She really played well, and that's kind of, she had a great year last year, and at the beginning of the year just kind of got off to a slow start. She wasn't playing poorly, but she just wasn't playing, like she was playing at the end of last year, and it's good to see her. We know she's capable of that, and I think she gained a little bit of confidence in that Lynchburg game, especially the second half, had 29 points, which was a career high, and played extremely well, and then just kind of built on that. The next game she scored 23, which is great. She didn't have 29, but she had eight assists and 1 turnover, and that's from a point guard. 23 points, 8 assists, 1 turnover, and I think 5 rebounds. Like, that's an unbelievable stat line. So 2 great games back to back.
It's kind of hard to beat. Her assist to turnover ratios, has gone down. It's looking a lot better than it kind of did at the beginning of the season. So glad she got that award. Well deserved for her. So you're 2-1 in the ODAC since we last talked. Lynchburg was a really tough opponent, but then you've come back with two wins against Virginia Wesleyan and Eastern Mennonite. How did you kind of feel overall?
There were things we can do better, but we're getting better. Like, you can see, like, our defense is getting better, our transition defense is getting better. We're executing on the offensive end much better. There's spurts where it still looks ugly at times, but you can see us moving in the right direction. And we talked about this the last time, but our preseason schedule is pretty brutal. You looked at the teams we played, all of them, 8-1, 9-0, that type of record. And it's easy to get discouraged and lose a little bit of confidence. I always, what I kept telling myself is, if we can survive this stretch, we're going to be okay. But sometimes you can kind of go in the opposite direction. You're getting beat up on, and you let it take your confidence away. And we just can't allow that to happen. And I think, the last couple of games were games that we felt like if we played well, we can be competitive, and we were, and to get wins, I think, kind of goes a long way towards our kids seeing that we're going to be okay, and if we keep working and stacking good practices together, that we're headed in the right direction. So we feel good about the way we're moving forward.
Yeah. So we won a great game against Virginia Wesleyan. Really, really close game. You're up all by 5 at the half. Then come in the third quarter, you guys are tied. They kind of edged you out a little bit towards the end. And then fourth quarter starts. You guys started out great, went on 8-0 run to start the fourth. Then they kind of chewed back a little bit, and then you guys just kind of, outscored them 24-12. So what did you think about that fourth quarter performance?
It was good to see. I think in some of the other games we played well in spurts, but kind of late in the game we let it get away from us and didn't finish strong. So it was good to see us actually finish a game and finish the fourth quarter strong. I felt like we had opportunities in that game to pull away and maybe not let it be as close as it was throughout, but we never could kind of pull away. And then kind of finally in the fourth quarter, we finished strong. So that was good to see and gave us some confidence, moving into the Eastern Mennonite game.
Yeah. And that Eastern Mennonite game was away. You did win 65-52. What'd you like about that?
Well, once again, like opportunities. We had opportunities, especially in that third quarter. We had gotten some distance and gotten up by 18 or 19, and then I thought we kind of got maybe satisfied a little bit in the end of the third quarter and got a little sloppy and let them hang around, and then they picked up their intensity in the fourth quarter and really cut it to 6 and with 4 or 5 minutes to go, and I felt like we had chances to kind of fold at that point because it wasn't going in the right direction. And when you hadn't won a lot of games, you kind of get that mentality, oh no, here we go again. But we were able to kind of get our composure, make enough plays down the stretch, and kind of pull away at the end. So it was nice to see us when it got tough to be able to fight through that and to finish strong.
And you talked about that third quarter, 23-point score. That's some of the most points you've scored in a quarter of your games this year. Alexis Miller had 6 points off the bench. She in that quarter, her only points of the game. But how did she kind of help that third quarter?
Well, we like Alexis. We like Alexis a lot, and I think early in the year we thought she was a kid that was going to come in and give us, quality minutes. And it's as a freshman you're learning a new system. Your coach is a little different maybe than you learned in high school, and you just got to get that kind of buy-in. And I think she's starting, to understand what we want. I think she's starting to play in a way that we think she can play. I think she can be maybe our best defender when she gets locked in and she's working hard. So it was nice to see her give us some points off the bench. We need that. Hadn't had a ton of production off the bench as far as points, and to get that, I think, is something that's going to help us moving forward.
And you talk about, not a lot of points. You had in that quarter 17 from your starters, and Alexis with the 6. Only 6 points off the bench. How can you get more bench points?
I think it's just confidence. I think Alexis has the ability to score. I think Jess Bollinger has the ability to score. I think it's just them gaining confidence when they get minutes on the floor and playing with confidence. I think right now there's a little bit of, Alexis is a freshman, kind of figure that out. Jess is kind of, it's her third year, but it's kind of the first time that she's actually gotten valuable minutes and been healthy. So just gaining confidence with the minutes that you get. She had 10 rebounds in the Eastern Mennonite game, which didn't show up a lot in the the stats as far as points, but 10 rebounds off the bench is really big for us. And she has the ability to score. We moved her inside to a post player. She's always been a guard, and now she's playing a different position. So gaining some confidence in herself, is something that I think will come with time.
And how's that transition for her? Has that been a little difficult, have you noticed, or is she kind of flowing into that new role?
I think it's been hard for her. It's just not something that she's played. So I think it's something that she can do. She's physically strong enough to play in the post. I think she's skilled enough to, footwork wise, to do the things that we need in the post. It's just something she's never done. So I think playing against bigger, stronger people, just figuring out how to, how her game equates and what she can do to pull post players away from the basket and use her guard skills to be able to score. So I think it just takes some time, and I think she's getting better every day, and I think the more she plays and the more experience she gets, the more she'll feel confident in that.
That's good to hear. So, your next 3 games are home. You kind of close out this calendar year, a little earlier than some people. You don't have any games after the 17th of December. You have a long Christmas break for your players in a sense before your next game. How do you keep them in shape for the rest of the season?
It's challenging. Basketball at the D3 level is challenging because you have so many breaks. You get started, you play the first couple of weeks, and then you got a week for exams, and then you take exams, and then you play a couple of games, and then you got a week for Thanksgiving, and then you play 4 or 5 games, and then you take 10 days off for Christmas. So it's a lot of starting and stopping and starting and stopping, and that's a challenge, So kids are gonna have to be disciplined when they go home for Christmas over those 10 days, and we want them to take some time away and get away from it and get re-energized, but they also have to do conditioning on their own and come back in shape, because they come back and you get 3 or 4 days and then you're back at it again. So a lot to do there, but we'll manage it. Everybody kind of in the same situation as we are. So, and it's been good, not that we're now that we're not in classes, we're able to get a lot done. Practices have been long. The girls get frustrated with me at times because we're doing, 3-hour practices right now, but that's just where we are. We need that. We need that skill work. We need the extra time on the floor. So we're getting a lot done right now that we're not in classes, but still here playing.
Now, do you send your players home with kind of like a workout routine, or just kind of say, you're going to go home, it's up to you what to work on?
I'd like to say I do, but I don't. They're college athletes, they know it needs to be done, and some will do better than others. I'm sure we'll have some that go home and just get away from it altogether, and they'll come back and it'll take them a little bit of time. And then I got others that I think are, disciplined enough that they will get in the gym and do some things on their own. So, but you're a college athlete, you know what it takes. So I think you just gotta be disciplined enough to do what needs to be done over the break.
So your next game is tomorrow at 6 against Salem College. What do you look at their team at?
Well, they're coming out of exams, and that's tough. When you had a week off, and I'm not sure they even practiced while they were in exams. So we need to take advantage of that. It's a game when we watch them on film. They shoot the ball well. They're a much improved team. They didn't play last year because of COVID, but they've got a coach that's doing a good job with them, and you see the games that they've played, and they've been competitive. They're kind of like us. They haven't won, a lot of games, but they've been very competitive in the games that they've played, and we're going to have to show up and play well.
All right, and then on this Friday, you play an old foe, Maryville, from the USA South. How does that kind of rivalry come back into play?
I think the world of their coach, Darren Trevelyan. He's been there about the same amount of time that I've been here. We played each other a lot, and when we were in the USA South, we were rivals. There were a lot of years that we were right at the top of the league, and we were competing against each other in, conference championships and in the semifinals. And I just really think a lot of them. He does a really good job with his kids. They're very, very disciplined, always execute and do their stuff, and they're always well prepared. So we're going to have to play, well. He's kind of in a similar situation to us. His record's not great, but he's played an extremely tough schedule, and they've been very good. I think they're way better than their record indicates, and I know he will have his team prepared and ready to play us. So it's good to compete. We always want to play against good competition, and I enjoy competing against Darren, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, and then first game coming back from in January is a ODAC game against Randolph. What do you like about Randolph?
He's done a great job at Randolph. That was a program that traditionally hasn't been, at the top of the league. And, you look at his roster now, he's got 18, 19 kids on his roster. I think they're 7-2 right now, or 7-3. They were 7-1 to start the year, with their only loss being to Division I, William and Mary. And he's got some good league wins already. So he's doing a really, really good job. They're hard to play against. They do some things different defensively than we see with a lot of teams. And he's really got them playing up tempo and fast. And just really impressed with what he's done at Randolph and what they've got going right now. So that'll be a big test for us.
All righty. So, again, those next 3 games are this Wednesday at 6 against Salem College, and this Friday, the 17th, at 5:30 against Maryville. So there's the next 2 home games, then we'll come back from Christmas break, and then you got Randolph January 5th at 7 p.m. in Swartz Gymnasium. So thank you for joining me today, Coach Harvey. I appreciate it. Really enjoyed talking with you again today. We will be back this second week of January. We've got a long Christmas break, and I'm going on a little bit of vacation, so I'm going to take some time off, but look forward to seeing you in a few weeks again.
All right, we look forward to a busy week ahead, and want to finish on a positive note. We've won our last 2 and hope to finish strong going into Christmas, and hopefully everybody enjoys their Christmas break and gets refreshed and come back ready to go for the second half of the season.
All right, and we wish you all a happy holidays.
Thank you.